Hey guys, Adam here with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we're taking a quick look at and installing the Spectre Performance cold air intake in the polished finish available for the 2019 and newer 5.7 liter Ram 1500. Very simply put, you should be checking this out if you're looking to ditch the factory restrictive air box and filter in favor for a filter that's going to do a heck of a lot better job filtering out the particles you don't want getting into the engine bay while also maximizing the cold air intake. The rest of the system here is using an aluminum tubing in a polished finish, which looks really good under the hood. Ultimately, guys, a cold air intake like this compared to your factory one is going to optimize your engine efficiency. It's going to help your engine breathe a lot better, and you may even see a small bump in horsepower and torque. Now, in the single digits, but nonetheless, you are going to see a little bit of a bump there, especially with engine sound, throttle response, and acceleration. Cold air intakes like this do tend to give your engine a lot heavier or more of aggressive sounds, something that's got a little bit more of a growl to it, and in some cases, you even get a little bit of a whistle with it as well. A lot of guys really love the sound of that. In terms of throttle response and acceleration, you will feel a slight bump in acceleration off the line. So red light to red light, there's going to be a noticeable difference there as well. So cold air intakes all around, just really positive influence on the engine capabilities and engine performance. Now this one here, the good thing is it does not require a tune. So right out of the box, you can bolt it right up and get going off the line. Out of the box, it is a direct bolt on, no cutting, drilling, none of that nonsense. It's really one of the easier things you can do. The filter from Spectre here uses an open filter cotton gauze media. The nice thing about this is it's washable and reusable. It's an oiled filter. It's there to catch all those particles in that oil there. It's the best of both worlds, so it really breathes a lot better and filters out a lot better as well. Now this conical filter has a 360-degree design that will compare to the factory drop-in filter a little bit later on, but obviously if you're between an oiled filter and a dry filter, oiled filters are great for guys really in any climate. It's easily reusable, it's easily washable, and you just have to re-oil it. So it has a little bit more maintenance involved than a dry filter, but that's only just because of the re-oiling. Now, if you're located in a dry weather climate, seeing a lot of air pollution, things like desert climates, things like Arizona, for example, you may want to look into a dry filter just because it won't get clogged up as much and require as much maintenance as an oiled filter, which tends to collect a lot more of the dust because of those dry climate areas. But either way, great filters nonetheless. They both obviously are within 1% of each other when it comes to performance. Now, when it comes to the price tag, this one's coming in right around 250 bucks. Install is going to get 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. Anybody can tackle it with about an hour's worth of time in the driveway at home. I'll show you what it's like. Let's get to it. Tools used in the install include an impact gun, 8mm deep socket, and the Allen key included in the kit. All right, first step here, you're going to disconnect the temp sensor just by disconnecting that harness. Pinch and pull back. Next step, we're going to disconnect this hose, which is just to the left. You're going to push up on that gray locking tab from the bottom and pull straight back. Next, we're going to take a flathead screwdriver and we're going to loosen up this clamp connecting the factory hose to the throttle body. There's 2 little rubber plugs that these are in that are kind of retaining that in place. So we're just going to pull and disconnect it from there. There we go, and we're going to set this aside. So we got our factory intake off of our 5.7 Ram behind me, and it's on the table next to our Spectre Performance cold air intake. And I want to take you through some similarities and differences here. And of course, we want to start with our star player, the filter. Now, your factory filter, I actually disassembled and took out of the factory air box. You don't need to do that. I just wanted to show you guys the difference here. This is a flat paper element dry drop-in filter. It's very common from the factory, from places like Ford, Dodge, Chevy, so on and so forth. It's efficient for a factory filter, but it's not really optimizing airflow. It's not going to bring in the most cold air, and it's definitely not going to filter out all of the particles that you don't want making its way into your intake system. However, the upgrade here is going to a non-woven synthetic cotton element filter. This cotton filter is a pre-oiled filter right out of the box. It's washable, reusable, and you of course can re-oil it yourself. And it's going to do a hell of a lot better job filtering out those microparticles that you don't want getting into your intake. Now, the nice thing about this is the open element compared to the paper is going to help bring in more volume of airflow. The better airflow you get, the better combustion you get in the engine. It's going to breathe a lot better. It's going to give you that small bump in horsepower and torque. And the nice thing is it does not need to be tuned. Now, this filter here is obviously a huge filter in comparison to the factory drop-in. It's about a 10-inch filter with a 360-degree filter element all the way around. This flat drop-in, of course, is just not even remotely close to the amount of volume as the new one. This guy here is just going to do a better job pulling in the cold air and being a lot more efficient. The rest of the kit is pretty different as well. Your factory airbox is a closed airbox, which does a lot better job keeping out the hot engine bay heat. This new airbox from Spectre is an open airbox, but it does come with some weather stripping to go around the top, so it seals in underneath of the hood to really trap in the cold air and block out that extra heat. Now, of course, some of the more premium options, the more expensive options in the category have fully built-in closed airboxes with windows, but if you're looking to keep it on a budget, this is going to be a great other option. The tubing here is an aluminum tubing. It's going to be good for heat dissipation. It's got a new pre-drilled hole for your temperature sensor. Comes with new couplers that'll help seal things in, new clamps as well, and some hardware along with that velocity stack there to help get that airflow from the filter through the tubing. With that said, let's transfer over a couple of those factory components, starting with our air temperature sensor. Next up here, we're going to remove the factory temperature sensor. Twist counterclockwise, you'll hear a little snap. Give it a little wiggle and pull it straight back. Set your factory one aside. Next, take your rubber grommet, you're going to insert that into the hole here. You'll see that there's a slit going all the way around the edges, and that's where the inside of this circle is going to go, so that the rubber is on both sides, the outside and the inside of the tubing. It does take a little bit of finesse to get it in there. Make sure it's hugging both sides. You should be able to look inside and see the same thing as you do on the out. Then you're going to take your factory temperature sensor and you're going to insert it so that it's facing the same direction as it was when it was installed on the vehicle. All right, this definitely is going to take a little bit of patience and some trial and error. You may need to wiggle it around because it is a super tight fit. Make sure that seats down all the way and we can move on. Next up, take the 90-degree coupler elbow and you're going to install that on the same side of the tubing as your air temperature sensor. Make sure you have a clamp inserted over the end there. Insert that onto the tubing. Make sure it seats all the way onto the tubing. All right, I was right the first time. You can use an 8mm deep socket or a flathead screwdriver to tighten that down. I'm going to use an 8. Next, we can assemble our heat shield. Just a bunch of panels we have to install. Some of them have nuts welded to the inside. Just going to line those up like a puzzle in the direction that they're supposed to go. This is one of the side panels. Grab one of the hex screws along with one of the flat washers included in the kit. You're going to put it from the outside facing in. Just going to tighten those down by hand just to get them in place. There's an Allen key included in the kit to make it easier for you, so you don't really need any tools for it. It's all given to you. All right, continue that all the way around the heat shield. On the bottom of your factory airbox, you have to remove the 4 grommets and transfer them over. They just peel right off. All right, set this aside, bring on the new one, pop them in the holes, just like that. All right, take your adapter, put it on the inside of the airbox, a clamp over your coupler, connect that coupler to the adapter and tighten down that clamp. While we're here, we might as well drop our filter in. You want to make sure you have one of the big clamps included in the kit. Pop that around the filter, stick it onto the adapter, grab an extension and your socket or your flathead or Phillips head and tighten that down. All right, now we can drop the whole assembly in the truck. Next up, drop the entire airbox assembly in place on the vehicle, back onto the factory position where that stock one was. Perfect. Now we can install our tubing. Next, we can do our tubing. Make sure there's a clamp over the opposite end of the coupler that's on the airbox. Make sure there's a clamp on the throttle body side. Connect it to the airbox section. Bring it over to the throttle body. Now we can tighten down both of the clamps on both sides. Next up, you might have to do a little bit of automotive yoga to get up here, but you're gonna reconnect the factory breather hose to the new hose or connector or fitting on the new tubing. Push that guy on. Take the factory temperature sensor harness, bring that up, and reconnect it. Next up, you're gonna line the top edge of the airbox to help seal it in under the hood. All right, with that last step in place, you are good to go. That's gonna wrap up my review and install for the Spectre cold air intake in the polished finish, available for the 19 and newer 5.7 Ram 1500. You can get yours right here at AmericanTrucks.com.